Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready. Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to report. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, that's easy. Go to shrmedia.com and click on the watch button. While you're there, join the conversation. Just jump right in chat. Tell me what you think. All right, we're going to get a new article. Just came up. Let me see if I can find it. And might have a little sound clip for it. Got it on my tablet. Oh, that's right. I can play that off my tablet. Hillsborough County, where I live, the commissioners vote to move Tampa's Confederate monument to Brandon Cemetery. But yet we still have Democrats in office. And if I got to explain that, I will. They're moving the statue because it reminds them of slavery. Well, Democrats were the party of slavery. The Democrats are trying to change history. They're trying to hide history. They're trying to cover it up. They want to cover up their racist history, that they were the party of slavery. It pissed me off. For 106 years, this monument to Confederate soldiers had stood in downtown Tampa. 106 years. And now all of a sudden, oh, it offends us. Our sensibilities, our snowflakes are melting. Oh. But on Wednesday, after 3.5 hours of impassable pleas from the public and contentious debate from the diocese, Hillsborough County Commissioners voted 4-2 to remove the statue from its home outside the old county courthouse. Instead, commissioners will send the Confederate monument to a private cemetery of the Brandon family, the namesake of East Hillsborough community, who at the 11th hour volunteered to take it. It will not be on Hillsborough County property any longer. Commissioner Les Miller, the catalyst for removal, said after the vote, it's the right thing to do. No, it isn't. It's covering up history. Oh, who is this from? Tampa Bay Times. They got a sound clip with this. Let me see what it is. If it's anything. So many times. Nope. It has something. It's trying. Oh, it's got a commercial. Commercials. My internet has sucked the last couple of days. I mean, it has sucked big time. Big monkey balls. I love how I actually sent a letter to Hillsborough County Commissioners, all of them, and complaining we should ban Democrats. They are the party that stood for slavery. They stood and fought for slavery, but they're still allowed. No one finds them offensive. Well, I find them offensive. Find them very offensive. Oh, let me see what I can find on the computer, see if it speeds it up a little bit. It's bad when you have stuff like this going on. It's like screaming the show is going to be bad. Mad. Oh. Let me see. Come on. Search. Sometimes Facebook pisses me off. Sometimes I just wish it would go back to chronological order. And let's see. Come on. Oh my God. The left is now calling for term limits on Supreme Court justice. Donald Trump is going to be able to name multiple Supreme Court justice. Now they want term limits. Oh my God. All right. Now this I just found funny. It's a little bit change of the subject. We have a new person in charge of the press secretary and all that. And CNN asked him if he will keep calling news outlets fake news. He responded by reminding them of the story they retracted. That's just beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, now it starts playing. Let's see. Come on. Oh, come on, you piece of crap. All right. Oh, having some technical issues here, and I apologize. Like I said, just the internet's not running that great. I got the video playing up on my tablet, but it was already like halfway through it by the time I noticed. And I couldn't get it to back up. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh my God. Now, if I wasn't pushing for this, it would have like loaded, but like playing in the background with no problem. I wish I would have known about this because I actually would have went down. I would have went down for this. All right. Here we go. I think I got it. I think I can.
Here to speak to item F4, which is the monument issue. We'll be calling you up in a public hearing type fashion when that item comes up.
This is a monument to veterans. Yes, they are veterans. Nobody's trying to take that away from anyone. But they were veterans who fought to keep the institution of slavery. They're veterans who fought to not be a part of these United States of America. You know who else was a veteran? My dad. When my dad was being shipped off to Vietnam, he had to wait in the colored section for the bus. And when we see, or myself personally, seeing a monument, seeing a Confederate flag is a reminder of those are people that want to keep things the way they were.
There's no monument to the Shunkoitko, Tatanka Yotanka, Pizi, Osceola, Micanopy, none for them. But I do see monuments for the people that killed them. What are we honoring? You say these monuments are to venerate something. Well, we're not venerating Africans. We're not venerating indigenous people. We're only venerating the other side.
The prayer that began this meeting today asked for unity. I'm also asking for unity. Let's take that statue down. Let's put it somewhere where it's not on public land, and let's not honor a lost cause that stood for hatred, racism, and intimidation against African people.
The monument was placed by the United Daughters of the Confederacy at a time when most of their fathers were close to death or already gone. The monument was intended to be a memory to the legacy of their fathers and the suffering they lived through during the Civil War.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about trying to change history. We never will change history. History will be there forever. And today, some 50, 60 years from now, this will all be history. I move that the Confederate monument, Memorial and Eterna, be removed and transferred within the next 60 days or as soon as practical thereafter from the Hillsborough County government's property located at the old county courthouse, 419 Pierce Street, on the west side of the building, that the monument be transferred to the United Daughters of the Confederacy. The United Daughters of the Confederacy will make their decision for the appropriate placement of the monument. However, it cannot be placed on any property owned by Hillsborough County government.
Please record your votes.
Motion carried 4-2. Commissioners Hagan and White voted no.
Now, when are they going to remove Democrats? And I will not back off this. When are they going to remove Democrats? And it's just as just the same as removing those statues. No different. The Democrats fought to leave this country by their argument. Why should they be allowed to continue to represent? It's a joke. It is an absolute joke to remove monuments just because they're upset. And it's no one had a problem for 100 and some years. Democrats are doing nothing but trying to hide their past. And that's all this is about. Nothing more, nothing less. And so many people, I can't believe how many people actually are sitting there falling for it. I can't believe there's so many people that are so weak-minded. It just... It's unbelievable. Unbelievable that we are removing a historical statue. $106 that's been standing there. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I'm at a total loss. How they're still with that. Oh my God. It just is amazing. But, of course, that is our government for you. The Democrats have been hiding their history and lying to the American people. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just because their friggin' feelings got hurt. And I just can't get over 106 years that statue has been standing there, and now all of a sudden people got an issue with it. It's a deflection so they don't have to talk about other things, and that's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. It is a deflection. And I'm so amazed that so many people just fall right for it. I've never in my life heard anybody, well, that makes me upset. That makes me upset. No. You would go, half time people probably didn't even know what was on that statue. I've been at that building. I didn't know that was there. Nobody probably knew it until, and there's this group that goes around, state to state, county to county, and they start the trouble with it. They start it. They start the issues. Most of the people in the area don't give a shit or realize it, but there's this group that goes around to start these troubles to get them removed. They're fucking with the South. It almost seems like the liberals are trying to start some kind of issue. I don't. It's amazing. So many people so simply moved. But yet, and real quick before we go to break, I'm loving this now that the left's now calling for term limits of 18 years and to stagger the appointments. Now they want that. I bet you if Hillary Clinton was president, they would be bitching if someone brought that up. It's absolute. If it wasn't for a country, it would be a great sitcom. The article goes on. Rumors are swirling that U.S. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, the judge whose swing vote has preserved identity between the courts left and right for a generation may announce his retirement in the next year. The mere idea that Kennedy's seat could get filled by President Donald Trump in the Republican Senate has sent many on the left into a tailspin. In the 29 years Kennedy has served on the court, he has authored opinions or cast tie-breaking votes in cases that preserved a constitutional right to abortion, recognized social and sexual liberties for gays and lesbians, granted habeas corpus protection to Guantanamo Bay, what the hell was I thinking? Prisoners and more. To many liberals, Kennedy's replacement with a strict originalist like Justice Neil Gorsuch would feel downright apocalyptic. Indeed, Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican Utah, told reporters in April that the battle to replace Kennedy will be Armageddon. Liberals aren't the only ones who get anxious over Supreme Court appointments, of course. When it seemed Anthony Scalia's seat would go to Merrick Garland, which would have created a more liberal majority on the court, the Republican-led Senate refused to give Garland any hearing or votes for an unprecedented 293 days. Until Obama was no longer president, a maneuver that led to bitter resentment and set a worrisome precedent for future vacancies. Meanwhile, some liberals are so worried about the health of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is 84, that they're sending her kale recipes. Things are clearly out of hand. This level of speculation, fear, and suspension over when any single public official retires is a sign that the stakes of the Supreme Court appointments are simply too high. To lower the stakes and attending dysfunction of each court appointment, both parties would do well to consider a scheme put forth by two Northwestern University law professors. In a 2006 paper for the Harvard Law Review, it was proposed that Supreme Court justice would serve 18-year terms with a new judge appointed every 2 years. Each president would, in effect, get to nominate two justices for every term in office, and the Senate would agree to promptly consider them on a regular schedule. The sitting court would be composed of 9 most recent appointees. More senior judges would continue receiving full pay and would sit as a judge on lower federal appellate courts or on the Supreme Court to fill a vacancy or a recusal. The plan has the advantage of potentially being achieved by statute rather than requiring a constitutional amendment. Don't you just love how they just conveniently can find ways to go around the Constitution? Of course, a justice might unexpectedly die, retire, resign, or be impeached, but for the most part, Supreme Court appointments would become more routine. The public, the press, and Congress would know what to expect and when. With a new justice always around the corner and a built-in limit to the length of any one person influence, the Senate could more easily accept an opposing president's nomination, breaking the tit-for-tat cycle of congressional partisanship that stalled the appointment of Garland. Such a system would also eliminate the tyranny of the young, whereby presidents seek to appoint the youngest possible justice in a calculated effort to further their legacy for the greatest number of decades. Brilliant, innovative judges wouldn't be sidestepped for being too old. The frequency of an appointment might allow presidents to experiment a little, perhaps by appointing a trial judge or a politician. It might also encourage minority parties and interest groups to limit their cries of impending doom. The benefits of life tenured for judges are clear. By eliminating the ability of political actors to remove the judges, the Constitution frees judges to make decisions based on their honest understanding of law rather than to protect their position by pleasing a political patron. But life expectancy today is a full 30 years greater than it was in 1789. In the country's first 200 years, the average Supreme Court justice served for 15 years. Kennedy is creeping up on 30. Gorsuch, fit in 49, could serve for the next 35 years or more. That's a very long time for a non-elected official to exercise such vast public authority. That within itself just is funny. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catherine is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to... That's 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Oh, my God. I'm still... I can't believe I did that. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch the show, it's easy. Just go to shrmedia.com, click on the listen/watch live button. It's that simple, people. No registration, no nothing. Go in there, jump in the chat room, join the conversation. So it seems FBI releases 7,000 previously unseen documents from Anthony Weiner's private laptop that contain classified material inappropriately sent to the disgraced congressman. How's that for you? Judicial Watch, a watchdog group focused on increasing government transparency, secured the release of the records, which many speculate will relate to Hillary's tenure as Secretary of State, as well as Weiner's ex-wife and top Clinton aide, Huma Abedin. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton confirmed the document dump, adding that his organization's plans to receive and review the information within the next 3 months. Fitton, who is engaged in a prolonged legal battle over Clinton's State Department records, has repeatedly accused the agency of obstructing his investigation. This pushes this out until 2020 and beyond. Production is slow because the legal counsel is a holdover from the Obama administration. The folks that are responsible for slow rolling this are still here, he was quoted as saying. It's unbelievable. I'm amazed. Adjusting the camera slightly. Somehow got a whack. Weren't we told there was no new emails on that laptop? I mean, seriously, I remember being told because the investigation got reopened. Heck. It's over there. Yeah, it's got to come. All right. Like I said, some technical difficulties here. Adjustments need to be done. I really need to find a professional. All right, back to the email situation. Fitton went on, I can't imagine the Trump White House is not interested in Clinton emails. 6 months into the Trump administration, and their lawyers are defending Hillary Clinton and the misconduct of the Obama administration. Former FBI Director James Comey confirmed the appearance of classified material on Weiner's laptop during his testimony before Congress earlier this year. The bureau chief claimed Abedin routinely forwarded the top secret documents to Weiner, violating federal and state department protocols. Now, why aren't these two arrested, charged, brought to trial? It's unbelievable. That's a new drinking word for today, is unbelievable. I mean, if any of us had done half of what Clinton and Miss Abedin have done, we all know what would have been. We would all be in jail. We would all be convicted already. This double standard is sickening and just scary as hell. that we have allowed our government to get this bad. We really need to clean Washington, D.C. up. Senator Joe Manchin urges Trump administration to block sale of Chicago Stock Exchange to the Chinese. Joe Manchin, a West Virginia Democrat up for re-election next year, is urging President Donald Trump administration to block the sale of Chicago Stock Exchange to Chinese investors. Manchin move comes via letter to Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Jay Clayton and Commissioner Carrie M. Stein and Michael S. A letter provided exclusively and now where's ahead of its public release. Our government considers our stock exchange a key part of our national financial market infrastructure to be self-regulatory organizations and presumes that each exchange is fully capable of managing the risk inherent in its operation. Manchin said in a statement, the Chinese government continued rejection of fundamental free market norms and property rights of private citizen makes me strongly doubt whether an exchange operating underneath the direct control of a Chinese entity can be trusted to self-regulate now and in the future. Manchin letters comes on the heels of another recent effort he led in the Senate, in which a group of senators sent a letter to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross to urge President Donald Trump's administration to continue to treat China as a non-market economy due to its currency manipulation and other questionable actions by the communist East Asian powerhouse. It's going on to further state, I fear that the challenging, plaguing the Chinese market, lack of transparency, currency manipulation, etc., will bleed into the Chicago Stock Exchange and adversely impact financial markets across the country. He's also said in his statement, provided as we continue to employ the greatest length of diplomacy to shore up our relationships with China, we must not forget their desire to emerge on top of international markets as the sole global power. I don't think any foreign country, directly, indirectly, should be having any type of ownership like that in anything in the United States. Because I do laugh how most of these countries, we cannot have power like that, but they want to do it in ours and we allow it. It's kind of stupid of us. It's not, well, if they don't, no, they're kind of smart on it. You don't want a foreign government having that kind of power, that kind of influence on your economy. Reuters reported on the looming deal in which the Chicago Stock Exchange is reportedly up for consideration to potentially be sold to CCEG, which is a Chinese investment group, a group that includes both Chinese and U.S. investors. The proposal to sell privately owned CHX, which is the Chicago Stock Exchange, for an undisclosed amount to a consortium led by CCEG has drawn attention because it would be the first time a U.S. stock exchange has been bought by Chinese investors, Reuters wrote on July 10th, while reporting on efforts by members of Congress to stop the sale. There are also U.S. investors in the group. This is the one Democrat that I would trust and listen to. Manchin has shown time and time again a willingness to work across the aisle, to work together. I don't agree with his gun control. I've said that multiple times, but doesn't mean we can't discuss and work together on other stuff. And that's the problem we have in this country. Just because you have different views doesn't mean you can't work together and come to an agreement, a compromise. Not a compromise that Harry Reid or Obama talked about. I'm talking about a true compromise where both parties give up a little. There's so many ways, even on Obamacare, even to repeal it, to get Democrat, there's ways they could come to the Republicans and ask for stuff in return for their support to repeal it. They can actually set terms and get stuff. I mean, they can make sure that there's continuation, and I don't agree that we should, but I'm just throwing out examples. Planned Parenthood, they want it still to be financed from the federal government. They still want money to go. They can work that into, okay, we'll vote for the backing of this, but you're going to back off of the Planned Parenthood. We want extended background checks on gun sales. Yeah, not saying that I want them. I don't agree with them, but they could sit there and try to get some of their agenda by using it as leverage to compromise. Then they can go for the 2018. I know we compromised on Obamacare. It was failing. We're going to put something new in place, but we also were able to work out where we got this in exchange, and we will get a new health care. You know, there's ways for them to make it out a positive, but they don't think of that. And they could spin it and not be a failure. Yes, we know Obamacare didn't work out. Some things need to be redone. We're not giving up on it. We're going to continue. Now that we know where the failures are, we know where the successes can be. But no, they don't want to do that. But Manchin, it seems like he's the type of person that's what he's willing to do. And he's coming and asking what it looks to be a handout. Not looking for a hand up. A handout of friendship. At least that's my take on it. And in my show, I'm allowed my take on it, so you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
all good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I got to just stop right there because I had put up a comment on this jackass from Hillsborough County, Angel D'Angelo, who's running for county commissioner in Hillsborough County. And I had posted that letter I had put up a while ago about that I sent to commissioners about Democrat Party should be removed. And hi, thank you. Both parties have a negative history in a country that was founded on racism. I get so sick of that point line. And then throughout the years, both parties have flipped in their policies regarding race. Therefore, it is very simplistic and inaccurate to claim it as a party of racism. I get so sick of this party flip shit. The party flipped. Oh, it just... pisses me off. Sorry about this. Jackass. If you think that lowly of this country, fucking leave. Don't run for government. Get the fuck out of the country. Go find a country that's better. Built on racism. Go fuck yourself. I hate that shit. Oh, that, as you can see, fucking let me up. Sorry. Oh, all right. Let's get back to regular stuff and stop talking. It just burns my ass when you have a bunch of idiots and he's a progressive, you know. And if you hate the country that bad, why are you here? Tell me a country that has a better history. They stick up for Muslims who still practice slavery of blacks. And I get tired of it because every single culture, every fucking culture has been put into slavery by another culture. Whites have been enslaved, blacks have been enslaved, reds, yellow, browns. Everybody has been enslaved. But the Democrats make it a point to cry and whine about it. And they're the ones that were responsible for the slavery. I can't believe we have a jackass like that. Oh, boy. If you think that lowly of the country, you shouldn't be running. Period. Drives me up a wall. Absolutely sickening. Yeah, let me put this in. No. It's in here and then. It's the hatred they have. And they talk about everybody else spewing hatred. They're the biggest spewer. This country is based on opportunity, independence. Slavery had a different meaning and feel back then. I'm not justifying how it went, but you can't compare now and then. I will never justify slavery. Never. But it was based on a different atmosphere. It just drives me up a wall. And it's funny because now we have Democrats back then said, if we do away with slavery, who will pick the cotton? And now what do we have, Democrats? Well, if we do away with illegal aliens, who will mow my lawns? Who will clean my dishes? Who will clean the hotels? And I'm not exaggerating. I've actually heard Democrats say those kind of statements. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think I'm going to invite that jackass to come onto my show, and we could debate the party flip. Oh, this drives me up a wall. I mean, it's... And this party switching, I've gone over it before and more in depth on this show. In fact, when I first started, I did shows about it. You had the Democrat Party from the end of slavery all the way up to 1964 that was pushing the civil rights. They pushed 100 years for the Civil Rights Act. Now you're telling me after Democrats not only fought against the Civil Rights Act, they filibustered, they did everything they could for 100 years to block it. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the party switch. The party that just got civil rights pushed through decides we're going to become racist, yes. And the Democrats, well, we learned our lesson, 100 years fighting against this, it got through, oh, we'll accept it. Oh. Hold on. Oh, he gave me this fucking factmyth.com. Let's see what he says. The two major U.S. party, now called Democrat, went through many changes in American history as support for geographic. Which party? The party system can be described as follows. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, because the South now votes for Republicans, majority over Democrats. That's a factor. Hold on one second. I just, holy shit. It's disgusting. It's. Let me check something out real quick. It's. I can't believe you actually hate the country that much that you're going to run for it. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break while I do this real quick. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Well, I gotta apologize. I kind of like went, sidetracked with this idiot, which I shouldn't during my show, and I do apologize for that. Hang on. And he's actually looks like going to take me up on actually coming on the radio show. So we'll deal with it then. Democrats have a new slogan that is getting, they didn't officially announce it, but it was announced out there that pretty much they had a new slogan: a better deal, better skills, better jobs, better wages. Well, it's already getting slammed. And Dem's new slogan, mercilessly mocked compared to Papa John's ad. Democrats, after lengthy deliberation, reportedly have settled on a new slogan, and it's not getting exactly the rave reviews that they thought it would. And this is what's funny. They paid all these specialists that come up with this, and focus groups and consultants, and uh-oh. It's not looking good. They polled it in some states and some areas. What do you think of this? Is this a good slogan? The slogan drew immediate taunts, given its obvious similarity to Papa John's tagline, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Someone else put, it's too short. Can they add in another better? I think it's still unclear. Better ingredients make better pizza. Recently worked at Papa John's, question mark. I mean, it's sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Hang on. Yeah, he wants to come on the show. This is going to be funny. This is going to be funny. All right, I'm going to have some studying to do. Make sure I have all my facts set up. It's ridiculous. Because all I got to say is, was the Democrat Party in charge? Okay. You're going after an inanimate object, a statue, and having it removed because it reminds you of slavery and oppression. But the party that was actually in charge, whether let's even, okay, they switch parties. It's still the same. Change it. They should be made to change just as they are removing that statue. Dems can't even come up with an original slogan. No vision. Here's my thing. It's one thing to come up with a slogan. Slogans are great. You know, a better deal, better skills, better jobs, better wages. How? When they are putting in regulations that send American jobs overseas, high-paying jobs overseas, they're importing illegal immigrants that are taking low-wage jobs. They're destroying the economy in the United States. They're forcing higher wages, but how is that? I mean, people are losing their jobs over it. You know, you could say Obama brought in all these jobs, but when you bring in part-time, basic minimum wage jobs, how is that better for the country? How is that better for the country? So you can come up with all the slogans you want. You can rip off Papa John's all you want. I know it wasn't intentional. I know. Well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional. They get these idiots that they think they're smarter than everybody else because they took some college class that tells them, you know, how to come up with all these metrics to decide what to do and what to say, instead of just speaking from the heart. Trump, make America great again. That's it. Make America great again. They can come up with everything they want, but they don't back it up with actions. But considering the party has been scrambling to regroup with an effective message and strategy since its November thumping, all toward the goal of retaking at least one chamber of Congress next year, Obama-era communication pros greeted the slogan with a collective facepalm. If your slogan uses a colon or a comma, back to the drawing board, tweeted John, former speechwriter for then President Barack Obama. Fire every consultant involved. John Lovett, a former speechwriter for Obama and Hillary Clinton. And in more colorful tweet, he ruled, allow me to second anyone with a fucking brain. This slogan is garbage, hoping it's not real. The Republican National Committee press shop gleefully circulated their put down overnight. Unclear is whether the Democrats might revisit the choice before formally announcing it. Vox congressional reporter Jeff Stein first reported on the slogan, saying he was told it would be released on Monday. He initially omitted the better deal part, but then corrected himself. I should have corrected this immediately. I deleted original tweet. Full slogan is a better deal, better skills, better jobs, better wages. Stein added, and another member noted that this is the result of months of polling and internal deliberation amongst the House Democrat caucus. A political reporter earlier this month that previewed part of the slogan, a better deal, also said the slogan was being polled in battleground House districts. After the party's White House loss, Democrats faced intense criticism for building last year's message round opposition to then candidate Donald Trump, with not enough focus on what their candidates, including presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, would do. The electoral map also exposed a failure to connect to key blue-collar voting blocks in battleground states like Ohio and Pennsylvania. But here's the thing. Those battleground states, middle America, they don't give a rat's ass about slogans. They want to know policies. They want to know how you're going to create jobs for them, how you're going to make life better for them. So Democrats need to do more than just come up with a new slogan. As the effort to craft a new slogan apparently is being led by congressional Democrat leaders and has been a rocky process all along. House Democrats recently asked people to vote on a new slogan, with the option largely focusing again on resisting or mocking Republicans. One of them was, have you seen the other guys? The supposed winning message, though, might be rooted in a rallying cry from the former Clinton VP nominee, Senator Tim Kaine. As noted by Levine at the Liberal Indivisible Project, Kaine advertised a May co-op with a tweet that said, better skills, better job, better wages. My thoughts on why Democrats need a stronger economic message in the USA today. Right there you go. I never claimed they were that smart. So Representative Jim Jordan, we have to repeal failing Obamacare at some point. Let's just get it done. Get her done. He spoke to a Breitbart News Daily Sirius XM host Alex Marlow on Thursday about the need for Congress to vote on a clean repeal of Obamacare. Jordan said, to fix this mess, we're going to have to repeal Obamacare at some point. Let's just get it done. He also argued that repealing Obamacare first would give Congress an incentive to come up with a real solution. Once you repeal it, you have this 2-year phase out, this off-ramp time. Then there's an incentive for Democrats and Republicans to actually come together. Pointing that Obamacare is falling apart, Jordan added, that's why it's so important to go back to exactly what we told the American people. I always say we make this job too complicated. Do what you said you would do. We told them we would repeal it, then replace it. So let's repeal it, then replace it. And I love how everybody's, oh my God, the people are in the polls all over the place. Here's a simple poll for you. Who has control? What did they run on? Repealing. Done. Leave it at that. This is what you ran on. This is what you were voted in on. Do it. Get it done with. And now you know you can't play games. You're going to have to put a new system in. it makes you work at it and get it through. Democrats are going to have to work with you, because if they sit on the sideline while all this is going on, they're going to lose elections even more. This is, I don't know. It's something that has to be done. We have Representative Tom Garrett announces intent to file discharge petition on Obamacare repeal. Along with a dozen Freedom Caucus members, announces intention to file a discharge petition that would put a clean repeal of Obamacare before the House. The House Freedom Caucus repeatedly argued that the best path to repealing Obamacare revolves around a simple repeal of Obamacare, then replacing the Affordable Care Act with a free market alternative. Congress passed a clean repeal bill of Obamacare in 2015, only to have it vetoed by President Obama. Representative Jim Jordan, a former chairman of the Freedom Caucus, reintroduced the same legislation in 2015. However, Congress has not taken up that legislation. You passed it 2 years ago. Pass it again. Put it through. We have a president that will now sign it. Get it done. What more can you say? This is what they were voted in to do. Yeah, I'd have to Carrie Donovan, who love this girl. Conservatives, Republican, white women get called sexist, racist, nasty names all day long by the left, and mostly leftist women that are crying about the war on women. You can't say anything negative about me. It's a war. Oh, I don't like you. You're a nasty woman. You're hating me. And mistreated in public by leftists, and I think we should let them know that we are not afraid of them. What the fuck? I got to check this. All right, now this was funny. The Federalist Paper website. They have a headline: Why Hillary Clinton would have made a better president than Trump. So I'm like, what the fuck? My buddy posted. I'm like, what is he? What the hell? So I clicked on it, and all it says in all capitals, she wouldn't have. That's the whole story. But that was pretty good. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny. People are they've lost their mind. I don't know. I don't know what to say. They were voted in to repeal Obamacare. And Tom Garrett announced his intention to file a discharge petition that would put that clean Obamacare repeal bill before the House. Garrett said, I commend both the president and Republican leadership for working to replace the monstrosity that is Obamacare. However, we have seen discussions for replacement continue to stall, and we must change our approach to reforming health care. The Virginia congressman concluded the House should lead with an incremental approach by supporting a clean repeal bill and then enter into replacement negotiation. As such, I just initiated a seldom used parliamentary procedure to advance H.R. 1436 through a discharge petition. The overwhelming majority of my Republican colleagues cast their vote in support of this legislation in 2015, and I have faith they will do nothing short of that now. Hopefully, his words ring true. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One thing I haven't given a shout out to is the Sackhead Sean Sackhead Clinton PC. They're out in Las Vegas at the Paris Resort for the Freedom Fest. They've been giving great interviews and doing live bits on and off all day. So I don't know if they'll be on tonight or not, but just go to shrmedia.com and check out some of the interviews that they have done. Now, there's an article I just came across. The DNC is debt-ridden, unpopular, and failing. Well, we know it's debt-ridden and failing. Donors, voters, and congressmen are abandoning party leadership. DNC Chair Tom Perez recently sent out a fundraising email to supporters claiming, "I know garbage when I see it," citing that he once worked on a dump truck. It's ironic that he referred to the GOP health care bill as a flaming dumpster fire because he has been presiding over the disaster that is the Democrat National Committee. The organization reported that May 2017 was its worst fundraising month since the Iraq War in 2003. In April 2017, was it worth what the heck? Was the worst since 2009. In May, the DNC also reported that it has $1.9 million in debt, despite the fact that former Secretary of Labor Tom Perez was recruited by Barack Hussein Obama to appease the party's donors, lobbyists, and PACs. Even they have refused to prop up the failing brand. Not approving of the strategies laid out at a retreat for donors in July 2017, billionaires Penkus and Huffman started their own political organization, Win the Future, as donors are increasingly tired of seeing their investments go to waste. Many have started their own funds or used their access to take over leadership positions themselves, such as Florida billionaire donor Stephen Bittil, or whatever, did to become the Florida Democrat Party chair early this year. Democrat billionaire J.B. Pritzker is running for governor of Illinois, and billionaire Tom Steyer is debating running for governor of California. Sabin and Sims poured millions into Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, but they have yet to be listed by the FEC as DNC donors in 2017. Additionally, George Soros has only given $33,900 to the DNC in 2017, but he poured millions of dollars into the Democrat Party in 2016. Democrat voters have so far refused to fill the fundraising void left by party corporate and wealthy donors. Tom Perez is painfully reminded that the Democrat establishment has suppressed reforms that would prove to voters that the party is prioritizing their interests. Democrat leadership subverted pro-Sanders DNC chair candidate Congressman Keith Ellison's candidacy, ignores demands to ban superdelegates, and failed to reenact the ban on lobbyists and PAC donors that Debbie Wasserman Schultz lifted to enable Hillary Clinton to keep up with Sanders' fundraising. Perez's unity tour with Bernie Sanders backfire. He was met with boos at several of the tour's stop, and supporters showed up in favor of Sanders, not the DNC. Every opportunity for reform has been shut down by leadership. The Clinton campaign officials have been rewarded with leadership positions in the party or cushy mainstream media gigs. Facing calls for House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi to step down, top Democrats have made excuses for her unpopularity and the fact that Democrat congressional candidates lose when opponents say the candidacy is her ally. Perez gave Keith Ellison a fabricated position as deputy DNC chair, which Ellison has used to try to manufacture party unity while party's establishment remains in power. And in May 2017, former Amelia List executive director and Clinton supporter Jess O'Connell was appointed to DNC CEO, even though the former DNC interim chair Donna Brazil resigned in embarrassment after leaked emails reveal she violated the DNC charter to help the Clinton campaign. She has remained the organization's payroll, and the DNC sent out 2 separate fundraising emails from her in July. Instead of acknowledging that reform is needed to change the direction of the party, Democrat leadership is doubling down on failed strategies and rally behind unpopular, failing leadership. The DNC has tried to euthanize its supporters with marketing campaigns and slogans, but its efforts have fallen short. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi are prepping to unveil a better deal economic agenda to show voters that Democrats have a more robust plan than Republicans. However, Politico reported that several Democratic congressmen are opting to focus on their own message because they no longer trust leadership ability to connect with voters. These congressmen were proven right last week when the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee unveiled 4 new slogans, all of which were tone deaf and failed to inspire support amongst voters. Instead, they were more of the same anti-Trump rhetoric, but with the hint of condensation. You know what I mean right now. I'm getting tongue-tied. Oh, don't argue with me. The DNC has failed to salvage its reputation after former chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned in disgrace for rigging the Democrat presidential primary. The DNC needs to drastic overhaul to recoup its loss. The party needs to stop relying on Trump's ineptitude and deliver a clear message of its own. Unfortunately, the current Democratic leadership isn't capable of mitigating failure in this respect. And the DNC chairman, Tom Perez, is already facing pressure to resign. He just got into the position, and there's already pressure for him to resign. They talk about Trump, and he's had some people step down or been removed. Well, the same is happening with the DNC. They shouldn't be, what's the old expression? Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Oh, God. Oh, man. So my buddy puts up a meme, and it's old man sitting in a chair, like a recliner type chair on a beach. You know, the ones you put on the beach. And he's sitting back, and his legs are spread, and his balls are just hanging out. And it says, "This weather is nuts. It's hot as balls out." Leave it to my buddies from the firehouse to post something like that. Oh. It just... Tornado went through Hamburg, New York. Holy shit. Watching someone's house video of it, it's just watching it pick up a car and just like toss it around. It's amazing. Watching a different view real quick. It's like straight out of a movie. And there's a trash bag in the garage. The garage door's open, and you could see the wind pick up. All of a sudden, everything starts blowing to the right, and then it goes to the left real quick. But there's just a plastic bag inside the garage, and it's just like floating around like it's a ghost. Pick that car up and just toss it. Holy shit. I know. Shut up. Get back to what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, I am. Talk about whatever I want. Let's see. Future of globalization shaken by Trump victory. nationalist political earthquake. Presidential Donald Trump's 2016 victory and other nationalist political earthquakes had put globalization advocates on the defensive, while even convincing some economists who once believed in globalization like a region to change their minds. It was written after attending this year's World Economic Forum in Davos. At Davos, according to Saval, by all reports, the mood was one of anxiety, defensiveness, and self-reproach. The future economic globalization for which the Davos men and women see themselves as caretakers had been shaken by a series of political earthquakes. He writes that in a panel titled Governing Globalization, the economist Moyo, otherwise a well-known supporter of free trade, forthrightly asked the audience to accept that there have been significant losses from globalization. It's also noted that the Brexit result in Trump elections meant that the barbarians weren't at the gates to the sky lifts yet, but they weren't very far, since the backlash to globalization has helped fuel the extraordinary political shift of the past 18 months. Americanism, not globalism, should be our creed, Trump said on the campaign trail. As Saval points out, in the UK, he notes that the vote for Brexit was strongest in the region of the UK devastated by the flight of manufacturing. British Prime Minister Theresa May, he notes, said at Davos that talk of greater globalization means their jobs being outsourced and wages undercut. This week on Charles Rose Show, Joshua Green, author of Devil's Bargain, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, and the Storming of the Presidency, said that Steve Bannon, who is Trump's chief strategist, opposes the global financial class that is more interested in making money, erasing national borders, tearing down cultural identities than it is in serving the ordinary working class blue-collar people that Bannon thinks is the backbone of our country and ought to be at the center of our politics. Bannon's prescription, according to Green, is to tear down the global free trade system, to close American border, to deport people who are here illegally, and to curb legal immigration as a way of privileging American citizens and reasserting a cultural identity. At Davos this year, Saval observed that the participants had to realize that after years of hedging or discounting the marginal effect of free trade, it was time to face facts. Globalization caused job losses and depressed wages, and the usual Davos proposals, such as instructing affected populations to accept the new reality, weren't going to work. Unless something changed, the political consequences were likely to get worse. It was pointed out that for years, mainstream economists and politicians upheld the consensus that the merits of globalizations with little concern that there might be political consequences. But now millions have rejected with uncertain results the punishing logic that globalization could not be stopped. The backlash has swelled a well of soul-searching among economists, one that has already begun to roll ashore with financial crisis. How did they fail to foresee the repercussions? One economist in 1990 was skeptical about globalization. Wrote a book, Has Globalization Gone Too Far? Sounded an unusual note of alarm in 1997. It was written, the social costs that came with globalizations were high and consistently underestimated by economists. He noted that since the 1970s, lower-skilled European and American workers have endured a major fall in the real value of their wages, which dropped by more than 20%. Workers were suffering more spells of unemployment, more volatility in the hours they were expected to work. Though it was written and foresaw that the cost of greater economical integration would be greater social disintegration. Many dismissed his thesis that the inevitable result would be a huge political backlash. Privately warned that his work would give ammunition to the barbarians. Guess what? Barbarians are closer than you think. It's Let's check this out. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholics do it, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Much Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see some. Oh, the weekend is here. The weekend is here. Oh, supposedly Cher is going to be moving to Canada. I got one thing to say. Bye-bye! Sorry, Canada. You can have her. So let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Man, I wish I was in Las Vegas right now. Militant left-wing leader arrested for allegedly inciting violence at a 26 Sacramento melee. I'm going to bring up, it's a Tucker Carlson piece. But the prominent leader of the militant left-wing group was arrested earlier this week on charges stemming from violent brawls last year between white nationalist groups and counter-protests. Yvette for something, well, she got her ass arrested. And she's being charged on multiple counts. Inciting and participating in a riot, a site, or assault likely to cause great bodily injury. We all been praying for this day to happen. Maybe this will put a couple of them in their place. You know, these are the ones. And here, I'll let her do her own. Speak for herself. Watch now, it doesn't load up. All right. Come on. Come on. And this is, she gave an interview to Tucker back in February 13th.
This is a story about doers, wings, and neighbors.
So sick of ads. Tired of ads. But she's going to go on. The charges come after an 8-month investigation. 8 months it took them. 8 months. That's not her true name. She does go by a different name. She has been identified as a leader and the spokesman for anti-fascist group by any means necessary.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since rioters at UC Berkeley used violence to force the cancellation of a speech by Milo Yiannopoulos. Most people were appalled by what happened, but Yvette Falarca is not among those people. Besides working as a public school teacher in California, she is the national organizer for the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary. BAM is the acronym. Falarca is willing to integrate violence into her political agenda, as you can see from this clip of her disrupting a rally last summer in Sacramento.
Off our street! Shut the f*** off our street! Are these people going to get off our street? We don't have to give a speech. Here you go, boy.
Now there's like about 5 of them that circle this guy. She starts punching him in the stomach. Now there's cops standing there watching this. He gets jumped by like about 6 people, stomping on him. And now the cops go over.
Organized the Berkeley protests, and she says activists ought to copy his tactics for other speakers and events around the country. Yvette Falarca is with us now. Yvette, thanks all for joining us. So you did a bunch of interviews after, and you were asked about this, and you were, to your credit, I think, very straightforward about it and unapologetic. And you said, yeah, this guy was a fascist. Milo's a fascist, and we shut him down. You didn't pretend otherwise. We shut him down, and that's what you do with fascists. I think I'm characterizing what you said correctly. Just so we can understand the standard here, what is a fascist?
So a fascist is someone who's organizing a mass movement that's attacking women, immigrants, Black people, other minority groups in a movement of genocide. That's what a fascist is.
Okay. So it's someone who's committing violence?
And it's someone who's committing violence and who's trying to organize other people to commit violence.
Okay.
And Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist.
She's doing.
Okay. So he's committed acts of violence against the protected groups you mentioned?
Well, what he's doing is he's trying to be the youth face and the token that other people who are organizing violence try to hide behind. And so in all of his talks all over the country, what Yiannopoulos has done is whip up a whole lynch mob mentality where people who come to see him or his supporters not only agree.
Now, it's funny. Most people can see it. And I feel dumb even mentioning this, but she's spewing exactly what she is doing, what her and her groups are doing. That is exactly what they are about. The violence, and they're doing it in the name, and it's being perpetuated by other people. Exactly what she is complaining about, she is guilty of. It is what the left does. At you and accuse you of doing stuff because that's exactly what they're doing.
Agree with his views, but also attack other people. And that was certainly true in Washington State when one of his supporters came and actually shot an anti-fascist protester. But in Berkeley, we made sure that didn't happen because we were able to shut him down.
So, but you're conceding that Milo himself has not committed acts of violence, and nor has he incited violence by the legal definition. He'd be in jail if he did. But you're saying that because people who agree with him have committed violence, he should not be allowed to speak.
You know, fascist movement takes many forms, and it always tries to have one form that looks respectable and a little bit milder. But Yiannopoulos isn't just a stand-up comedian, and he isn't someone who just has ideas and posts them up on YouTube. He's someone who is funded by Breitbart and Steve Bannon to go around to college campuses to try to recruit other young people to then conduct those attacks on his behalf and on Trump's behalf. But I'm really, really glad to say that thousands of us were out there last week or February 1st and made sure that there were thousands of us to make sure that we defended our campus, this community, and especially the immigrant and Muslim students who were under attack and have been under attack by him and other fascists.
Right, and by using violence, I mean, you don't shy away from that by any means necessary is the name of your group, and so it implies violence. So what should we do with fascists? I mean, if you think that someone is espousing genocide, what should we do with them? I mean, should that person be allowed to walk free? Should we put him in jail? Should we kill him? Should we exile him? I mean, it's a sincere question. If you're willing to use violence because you think someone is espousing genocide, what's the penalty for that?
Well, first we've got to make sure we nip it in the bud, and we make sure that they're not allowed to recruit and act as if it's respectable to call for the mass murder of millions of people. In fact, millions who make up the majority of people in this nation at this point.
Okay,
and so they can't
just to be
hide
clear,
behind a
there's no
platform of free
Milo
speech.
Yiannopoulos, this is not a defense of him, just a factual point, has not ever said that in public anyway, not that we have a record of. There's no evidence that he has called for the genocide of anybody, as you know, but you're saying by transference in some way, he inspires people who believe that, I guess. But you're not getting my question. Like, when you say nip in the bud, should he be allowed to go on the subway and talk to the guy next to him about perhaps joining his movement? Or should he be allowed to talk to people in restaurants? Or what should we do with the fascist who you believe is inspiring genocide?
So first of all, the alt-right is a neo-fascist movement, and they're trying to hide behind some softer versions of their more open counterparts who identify themselves as Nazis. But they're still part of the same movement, first of all. Second of all, when someone is trying to speak at a campus or at a rally, they're doing it not just because they have an opinion, but someone like Yiannopoulos or any other alt-righter or fascist or neo-fascist is doing it to recruit other people. No, we don't let them recruit. And in fact, when you look back at the Holocaust and the lessons that we draw from that, we don't say, oh, well, at least we let them voice their opinion. We say never again.
Okay,
well,
so,
again is now,
when
especially
we say that,
after Trump.
We elevate people like Dietrich Bonhoeffer or members of the plot against the leader of Nazi Germany to kill him. So, I mean, that was the response, of course, to the leader of that fascist movement. Most people think it was legitimate. Do you think, you're not answering my question, that people like Milo, who you've decided are fascists, should be allowed to speak in public? You said they weren't allowed to speak at Berkeley.
He should not be allowed to speak in
corner?
public to spread his racist and misogynistic and homophobic lies. No, he does not have the right to do that.
What about
when he's using his speech to whip up attacks on people, no, he doesn't have the right to do that.
So
and
I
to spread
wonder-
lies about our humanity, no, he doesn't.
Okay, so you're
And
not
we
allowed
have
to
a
say
right to
things that
defend
you
ourselves
think are
in that.
untrue.
No,
Well,
you
I
have
mean,
a
of course,
right.
in the case of Berkeley,
No,
he was
that's not what I
committing-
said. I didn't say you're not.
You have a right to defend yourself. Hey, BZ, you have a right to defend yourself, not attack people. And that's what they've been doing. They've been attacking, not defending. They've been attacking. When you go into the offense, that is attacking, not defending. And she goes on to spew more of her stuff, but I just wanted to give a good clip of who it is. She has been arrested by Sacramento County District Attorney official said on Wednesday. The charges come, as I said, after 8 months investigation, and charges of inciting and participating in a riot and assault likely to cause great bodily injury. She is among several people arrested this week in connection to the wild skirmish that broke out at a state capitol in June of 2016, when more than 300 counter-protesters confronted about 30 members of a traditionalist workers' party, which has been called a white nationalist group. She is a middle school teacher in Berkeley, attended the Capitol protests and gave television interviews at the melee. She's captured on video hitting a member of the TWP and calling a man a Nazi before punching him in the stomach repeatedly while shouting for him to get the fuck off our streets. It's amazing. The district attorney goes on to say that many counter-protesters were masked, making it difficult to bring charges, including in connection with numerous stabbings and an assault on a Sacramento television station news crew. 14 people had stab wounds, cuts, bruises, while 2 of the injured surviving critical stab wounds. This is why, I'm sorry, you show up to these rallies and you're wearing a mask, the police need to step in and say, no. No. Because if you're wearing a mask and you're in a warm climate during the summer, you're there for the wrong purposes. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You're not there to anything happy, joy, to say the least. Again, I don't know if there's anything coming up after the show, but I'm pretty sure with BZ in the chat room, I'm expecting something from the Sackheads as they are out in Las Vegas, where is it, Paris Resort for Freedom Fest 10-year anniversary. Guys, I want everybody to have a great, safe weekend. All I can say is the guys out in Las Vegas, Sackhead, Sean, Sackhead, Clinton, BZ, I've been checking up on what you guys have been doing. It is great work. I said it before. I'll say it again. I've said it all week. I am jealous, and hopefully I have some ducks in the row that I will make it out next year, and I could actually meet some of these people face to face and have a good time. So everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. Have a great weekend. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.